Hello dear children, welcome to Vocalino Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the story The Pedestrian, written by Ray Bradbury. Before we start the story, let us discuss about the author. Ray Douglas Bradbury was one of the most influential American writers of the 20th century. He is best known for his works of science fiction, fantasy, horror and mystery. His stories warn us about misuse of technology. Even in this story also we talk about the misuse or the over influence of technology. The Pedestrian was written in 1951 when TV was becoming very popular. The Pedestrian reflects Bradbury's fear that people would become prisoners of their own screens. The lonely, empty streets and the mechanical police car show how a society obsessed with television can destroy freedom and imagination. Let us discuss the setting of the story. The story takes place in the year 2053. It is talking about future. What would happen to this world if the entire world is addicted, obsessed with technology? When we talk about the story in this generation, only the television screen changed into a mobile screen. The remaining things what is discussed in the story is remain same. Here we see a city which is completely silent, empty, no people outside. Everyone is inside their homes watching TV constantly. Roads were empty because no one goes outside. So this is the setting of the story. Now we are moving on to the main characters of the story. In the story, we have three main characters. The first one, the protagonist of the story, Leonard Mead. He was a writer who loves walking alone at night. He values freedom, imagination and nature. In the story, we see there are certain moments Mead, he was walking and enjoying the beauty of nature. He represents individuality in a controlled, technology addicted society. And at the end of the story, he was considered as abnormal because he does not watch TV. There was no screen at his home. So because of that, he was considered as abnormal in the end of the story. The second character of the story is the police car, the only remaining police car in the city. That was the description given to the police car in the story. As there were no people outside, all are watching TV, being inside their homes, they are watching TV. So literally there was no crime at all. So there was no need of a police car. There was no issue with the law and order. So there was no need of a police car. This police car which we see in the story is the last remaining police car in the city. It was completely automated, no human inside. The police car symbolizes government, control and laws of human authority. The police car questions Mead suspiciously for simply walking. And finally, the police car arrests him for being different. The third character of the story is the people of that city. They are not coming outside from their houses. They are unseen. They never appear in the story. They stay locked inside their homes watching television. The people of the city represent a passive, lifeless, screen-dependent society. So these are the main characters of the story. Now let us move on to the summary of the story. The main character, Leonard Mead, he likes walking at night. He has been doing this for many years. The city was completely lifeless. No people, no children, no shops open, no sounds. Only in the story we could only listen the noise of TV from every house. He was walking alone. He did not have a company to walk. He was walking alone. For those many years he was walking alone. Though he was walking alone, Mead enjoys the fresh air and the silence. We see he loves watching nature by picking up a leaf. He was observing the leaf very clearly. So that is actually an example which shows he loves the beauty of nature, the moonlight, and he used to think freely. So he completed his walking, as we see in the story. He completed his walking and he was about to go back to his house. Suddenly, a police car came in front of him and stopped him. Only car was there was no human inside. And as I already told you, the description given to the car, that was the only remaining car in the city, because there was no crime at all. Crime has reduced. Everyone stays inside watching television, so no need of a police car in the city. The police car stopped him and started asking so many questions to Med. The police car asked him, why are you walking? Why aren't you watching TV? Do you have a job? Why don't you have a wife? All those questions. Med answered for all the questions very honestly, we see in the story. But though he answered very honestly, finally the police car considered him suspicious, because he was walking alone in the street. Nobody was outside. Everybody was busy watching television, being inside their house. At that time, he was different. He was walking alone in the street. And he was a writer. When the police car asked him his profession, he told he was a writer. So all those things made the police car to consider Med as suspicious. And we see in the story, at the end of the story, the police car ordered him to get inside the car. They say they are taking him to the psychiatric center for research on regressive tendencies. We see at the end of the story, he was taken to the psychiatric center for research on regressive tendency. This means they think he is mentally abnormal because he prefers walking and thinking. The story ends with Med being taken away, and while the police car was moving, we see the house of Med, which was the only house illuminated, and that was the only house without a TV screen. So this is the summary of the story. Now we discuss about the themes of the story. The first theme is technology and dehumanization. We see in the story, the people of that street is completely controlled by technology. Nobody was outside, all were busy watching television. Technology controls people's lives completely. Citizens stay indoors watching TV, losing real human interaction. People don't talk each other, only they spend time in front of their television screen. The police car was robotic, replacing human judgment. And the society becomes emotionless, mechanical, and disconnected. So this is the first theme of the story. The second theme of the story is non-conformity. Here, Leonard Mead, the central character of the story, he chose to walk differently. While everybody was busy inside their homes watching television, he chose to walk outside. He came outside of his own house and he was walking in the street. Leonard Mead stands out because he chooses to walk, think, and live differently. Society punishes anyone who does not follow the normal routine. Med's individuality is treated as a threat. That is why the police car came, questioned him, and finally arrested him and took him to a psychiatric center. The story shows the danger of a world that rejects freedom and originality. And the last theme of the story is nature versus city. Here, nature represents freedom and imagination, whereas the city represents control, routine, and isolation. Med enjoys quiet streets, moonlight, and natural surroundings. The city was completely lifeless, dark, and it was filled with identical homes. So these are the themes of the story. Now, what is the message of the story? The message is very simple. Technology should help us. It should not control us. We always should balance screen time with real human activities. Thinking, creativity, and freedom are essential in life. The pedestrian is a warning for all of us. If technology becomes everything, we may lose our freedom and humanity. Let us use technology wisely. So dear children, this is the story, The Pedestrian. The story talks about what would happen to a society if it is completely controlled by technology. The people, they lost their human interaction. They don't have any connection with each other. Our central character Med, he was walking all those years alone in the street. Even he did not have a company to walk with. So he was completely alone because he decided to walk differently. While everybody was busy at their homes watching television, spending time in front of their screen, by losing the human interaction, he chose to be different. And when somebody decides to walk differently from everybody else, automatically he will be considered as suspicious and the entire society will criticize him for that. That is what this story tells us. So dear children, I hope you have understood the story. If you have any doubts about the story, please ask your doubts in the comment section. We will meet with the next chapter in the next video. Till then, take care.